Hey guys, welcome back. So it's 2 years, well, 2 years and a couple weeks since I last time showed you guys how to do the fluid exchange on the Toyota Tundra. That is also the time when I installed the Magnafine transmission filter. So on today's video, it's not going to be a true step-by-step. You can watch that video. I will link that on one of the sides here so you can see exactly how to do that. I will go over the highlights with you. So before, last time I use the Amsoil Signature Series. This time we're going to be doing an exchange with the Amsoil OE automatic transmission fluid, the fuel efficient version. This is the WS equivalent. This is much better. I know what you're going to be saying. Why are you putting in one step lower than the Signature Series? And the reason is I did a little research, and there's a mechanical engineer called Rat540. I will put a link to his blog in the description, and he has been doing tests on oil. He's got hundreds and hundreds of oils, automatic transmission fluids, stuff like that he has tested, and this has a higher PSI rating than the Signature Series. So that was interesting. So I have a lot of this, so that's what I'm going to be going back with. I'm going to show you, we're going to cut open this Magnafine filter and see if there's anything in there. On the last time I did this, it's been about 20-something thousand miles that I've gone in that time period since the last time. I'm not going to be removing the pan. I'm not going to be removing the filter or the screen because this will filter down finer than the screen anyway, so there's no reason to do that step. And it's only been 20,000 miles, so, but I am curious to see what is in here, if anything. So with that being said, I'm going to go under the truck and I'm going to give you guys just a quick highlight of what I'm going to be doing, and let's do that next. All right, so this needs to be said because somebody's going to do it. Make sure that this is the filler plug on this transmission. It's on the passenger side, right on the, basically this is the tail shaft of the transmission. This is 24 millimeter. Make sure that this is loose. Make sure you can get this and take it off. I just have it sitting here, and this transmission has a drain plug right here, and it's also got the check plug here. This is one of the transmissions that are without a dipstick. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this transmission pan here, and we'll get as much out as we can get, and about a little more than 4 quarts will come out by doing this. Okay, so I'm draining the fluid. This bolt here, the pan bolt, or the drain bolt, is a 13 millimeter, and you can still see, hopefully the camera's picking up how nice and red this fluid still is. Something I would completely expect. So there is a crush washer on here that just fell off. Make sure to replace this crush washer. I will show you the actual Toyota part number in just a second. All right, here's the part number. You can just pause the video here. And these crush washers are not reusable, so please get this before you start the job. I do want to show you one thing, and they're not expensive. I don't remember how much they are, but they're really cheap. The crush washer has a flat side, and it's got a side that's slightly tapered. The flat side needs to go against the face of the bolt here, and the tapered side needs to go towards the pan. All right, so with the new crush washer, I torqued the drain plug bolt here to 15 foot-pounds, and also at this time I'm going to remove the filler bolt And we're going to get set up to add more transmission fluid here, and I'll show you how we do that next. All right, so I've got probably about 5 feet of this clear vinyl tubing. The size is, it's a 1/2 inch OD, 5/8 inch ID, and I just have it on this funnel. I just get whatever. This seems to work really good. It flows pretty good, and I just put the funnel down inside here, and I'm going to, last time I routed it outside the truck up underneath. This time I think I'm going to go through the engine compartment. So once I get it routed, I'll show you exactly what I did. All right, so I just zip tied the funnel here to the hood strut, and I routed the line. I didn't even use zip ties this time. I routed it so it's not touching any of the metal part of the engine. It's clear of the catalytic converter. And then you can see how the line's coming down. Comes down right there. And I just pushed it in the hole as far as it would go. And then backed it out like a 1/4 inch. That's why I like this size line, because it fits snugly in this fill plug port, but it doesn't, it's not too tight. All right, so about 4.5 quarts came out. So I'm just going to put about 4.5 quarts in. So this is extremely hard to get this disconnected, just because it's basically in between 2 immovable lines. So what I found works really good is to use a trim tool and pry it off of this side, the filter side, and then you can pull it off of the hose. I'm going to replace this because it's 2 years old, they degrade, they get a little bit harder, and I do remember I had an awful time actually getting this on there, but so I'm going to get everything set up and then we'll start to do the fluid exchange. All right, so I have something different than I used last time. This is a 5-gallon, it's called a Carboy. It's just a 5-gallon container. It has screw off top, all right, and this makes it much less messy than using an open pail. So what I'm going to do is I've got some other tubing here. This is a 3/8 inside diameter, and I'm going to hook it onto the end of the Magnafine filter right there. When I'm done with the fluid exchange, I'm going to take that Magnafine filter off and replace it with a new one, and we'll cut it open. But let me get everything set up and I'll show you how to do the exchange. It's really simple. All right, so I've got our clear line here. I put this, this is just a spare 3/8 piece of tubing that I had, and a bolt in the middle to block it off. There's not going to be anything coming out of here because that is the back to the transmission. It's all going to terminate out of the filter here, but sometimes just with the transmission pumping, some can weep out. But I've just got the end of this in the 5-gallon bucket here, so I'm going to crank the truck up and you'll see the fluid. There'll probably be some sputtering at first because there's air in this line because I disconnected it, but see what happens. right, so we got out exactly 4 quarts here. That is 1 gallon, 1.5, 2. That's one of the reasons that I like this right here, is because it is graduated on the side. So we got 4 out. So I'm gonna put 4 more back in here, and then we'll do it again. All right, so I'm gonna crank it up again, and what I'm gonna do this time is I'm going to slowly cycle through the gears as it's pumping out. All right, so we got 2 gallons through there so far. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put in 4 more quarts, and we're not gonna flush this anymore. And then I'll disconnect this and replace the Magnafine filter. All right. So I just cut the Magnafine filter all the way around with a hacksaw. I haven't opened it yet. I wanted to do that with you guys. So excuse the debris right there. That's it. So just like on the magnet and the transmission pan, there's just a little bit of that black stuff is probably from whatever iron components are in, like the torque converter bushings and stuff like that maybe. But as you can see, there's nothing in the filter other than down here where some of the shavings. There's no way to good way to open this. I've tried using a grinder before, hacksaw. It's pretty good. But the way this works is, just so you know, obviously it fits like that. You see it's got the flow. So it comes in this way. It passes over the magnet first, and then there is like a spring-loaded, almost like a bypass there, but you can see how the diameter difference is, and it forces its way, goes around the magnet, forces its way into the filter media, and then out this way. And I'm assuming that that right there is kind of like a bypass valve. It's spring-loaded. So if this were to get clogged up, then you would still have flow. So easily, at least in this transmission, this can go, 2 years, at least with the Amsoil. There's nothing really in there. There's no debris. It's just as I would have expected. But it's interesting to see how these work. I know a lot of the older ones were plastic and they're easier to open. I like these better. These are pretty stout, so that magnet is very strong. It is glued on there, I guess with maybe some epoxy. Let's see if I can get the magnet off with some pliers. I'll try these channel locks. Probably this magnet's going to break, but we'll see. Oh yeah, that's definitely glued on there. Magnets are pretty fragile when you squeeze them. Yeah, there's no way that's coming off. You'd have to cut it between there. But anyway, I'm not going to waste my time with it. It's very interesting how these work. I highly recommend that if you don't have one of these, I use on my Chevy K1500, I've got a big Durali spin-on transmission filter, which has a giant regular oil filter on it like you'd use in a Dodge V8. These are great. I have one on the Chevy for the power steering, and I was gonna put the Durali filter on the transmission for the Toyota, but I don't know why I didn't. This was kind of easier, I guess. But anyway, I'm very pleased with it. It's yeah, it's a nice piece of nice filter. So if you haven't used these before, I highly suggest that you check them out. I'll put a link down at the description for it. All right, guys, well, I'm going to end this video, and with that being said, I will see you on the next one.